Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Digital Applications. We're moving on to Word Assessment 6, which is going to continue on with the document that we've been working on, how to build a website. So please go ahead and reopen that document that we've been working on step by step. Before we go any further with this document, we're going to save it under a different name, as we have been. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on File. We're going to save as. And here we're going to change this to version 6. I am adding the .example extension so that I can keep track of mine. You should not put example at the end of your file name, although you might want to get in the common practice of putting your initials back there. But we need to make sure that this is version 6, that it's a new name, and we will move on. All right, so from the beginning to now, we've done lots with this page. We've written a bunch of text, we've formatted that text, we've added emojis and pictures, we've added symbols and hyperlinks, we've added, tables and custom bullets, and we've, lists and custom bullets, and we've even added a table, okay? We've also got a header and a footer, excuse that, that's also associated with our document. Okay, the footer has a page number, the header has our student name, digital applications, and Cifaldi block 5. Okay, so today we're going to look at a couple of the features that we're going to be using to, let's say your project is getting close to finished. You have basically a rough draft completed, but you really want to take it to the next level. You want to analyze the document. You want to have some different things that you can do to kind of finish up. So we're going to talk about some of those features, okay? We're going to start here in the Review tab. Okay, so in the Review tab, we can go through. Let's start at the beginning of our document here. Okay, so if I'm working, with myself over time, or if I'm working with other people and I want to show this work, I want to get feedback, there are some things some tools that we can use to make sure that the document is not changing out of control. Okay, and one way that we can do that is we can track our changes so that, as we have a rough draft completed, if we want to make changes, but we're not we don't want to commit to them, we can write down different things, make some changes, and then maybe talk to somebody else, either collaborate online with someone or, passing the computer back and forth or whatever, to have someone else decide whether or not those changes are good, positive changes, okay? If you're looking at professionalism, this is a really good, important step, okay? So what we're going to do first, just to get a feel for this, is we're going to go to, in our Review tab, we're going to look at Track Changes, and we're going to turn that on. Now, for everyone means that it is going to display, if we are sharing this document with multiple users, it is going to list the changes that are made by each person, and it should give a text that says who is making the change. Okay, it'll be color coded. If it's just mine, then it's going to be just tracking the changes that I make to my own document. So we're going to go with that for now. We're going to click on just mine. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to make some revisions to our document. Okay, at the end of the first paragraph, it says website to promote themselves, a company, or an organization. I'm going to click at the end of this paragraph, press spacebar, and I'm going to write, below are the steps to follow. And I'm going to finish that up with a colon. You notice that this text is red. It's not red because it's colored red like for the final product. this is what track changes does, is it highlights the new text so that I know what things I'm adding or I'm proposing to change about the document. You'll notice that when I hover over this feature, it shows who made the change, myself, Andrew Cifaldi. It says the date and the time that I made that change. So if multiple people are working on the same file at the same time, or maybe you give a team like a window of this week, we can keep track of when people are making those different changes. And it gives a brief description of what the change is. So it says inserted, below are the steps to follow. Okay? I also see a little mark over here. This is a good quick way to see that on this line there is a change. Okay? All right. We're going to move on. We're going to go down to where it says step 2, decide on a domain name. And here in the second sentence, it's going to say the domain name must have an extension such as .com, .org, or .net. Businesses or personal websites, I'm going to add the word typically, use the extension .com or .net. We're going to eliminate the period, put in a comma, space, while. I'm going to change the N to a lowercase n. Nonprofit organizations typically use the extension .org. Your domain name should be one that is easy to remember. I'm going to get rid of, and then I'm going to put right after the R and remember, I'm going to put a space bar and easy to spell. I'm not saying that these are necessarily the best revisions, but we're kind of illustrating the way one person might be inserting an opinion about, what I might want to do to reword the document and how track changes are keeping track of those changes. Okay, notice the marks in the margin and the text. I don't know if I said this clearly, but I want you to make these changes too. So if you missed that, go ahead and review, go back in time on the YouTube video and go back through and make sure you're making the same changes that I'm making. Okay, if I moved quickly, of course you can always go back and replay it. Okay. All right, so now we're going under step 3, build each page. In the second sentence, it says the background color of each page should be I'm going to add the word light color that allows the text and images to be read with ease. All right. And lastly, we're going to do a different thing. So under the word spiders in my table, I'm going to click directly to the right of spiders. Now this is not something that has to be done with track changes on, but what we're going to do is we're going to add a footnote. And we're going to add that footnote, which I could do either with track changes on or with it off. But because I have track changes on, it's going to note that that is like a proposed change. Not everybody knows what an internet spider is. I'm guessing a lot of you don't. So we're going to do something here. I'm going to go over to a Google search, and we're going to Google search internet spiders. Once we Google search that internet spiders, we're going to see down here just a very basic definition. And I'm just going to copy and paste that over. This is a very generic definition. I'm going to copy, Control C, go back over to my text here. And what I'm going to do is insert a footnote. So I make sure my cursor is directly to the right of spiders. I'm going to click in the References tab. I'm going to insert a footnote. That's this big button here. You'll notice, it says that this track can't be changed. Okay, I'm going to keep it. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and click this so that it says from now on, I can go ahead and keep my changes to footnotes and endnotes. Okay. And here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paste. A spider is a software program that travels the web, hence the name spider, locating and indexing websites for search engines. I want you to notice that where this is happening, we've got our footnotes is at the bottom of our page. It's happening in the same area right above where my page numbers would be found. Okay, I'm going to click outside of here. You'll notice that that footnote is not visible at this moment. Okay, what happens if I open up my footer? Okay. Okay. So if I want to view that footnote, it's a little bit different on the desktop program, which is why I'm kind of dancing around right now. But in seeing that if I want to view the footnote, I actually have to click here where that number appears, and then it'll show me what the footnote looks like. Okay, so here I've gone through and I've made some different changes. They're being viewed through track changes, and I've also added a footnote. I want you to note that we can also do track changes with certain other elements. So here on our table, we're going to highlight this area that we gave an alternate color. Okay, and with these cells, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into my table design, and I'm going to change the cell shading so that it matches the others. Okay, and you'll notice that it now matches. And there is this line here that shows the track changes, and it says that I formatted the table. This isn't going to look very nice with light text, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change my colors to my text color to black to make that stand out too. All right, so there are some changes that I made to my table. We also have an option to make comments. So let's click on this picture right here and let's make a snarky comment about it. So I'm going to, with this selected, I'm going to go to my review tab and I'm going to click new comment. Here I'm going to click and you're going to see it's going to open a comments window on the right hand side. I can use an @ if I want to comment it towards a specific person, but I can just put this image looks too cartoony. I'm not sure how to spell cartoony, I think because it's a made-up word, but I'm going to do it that way. And when I want that comment to be posted, I click post. Okay, I'm going to go back down here. I'm going to highlight my table area, and I'm going to make another comment here, new comment, and here I'm going to write, would this look better with banded rows, ? And post the comment. All right, you see that I've got a little comment bubble right here next to where I made that comment. Here's my comment bubble here, and I've got my comments window over here. I can exit this to close my comments section, but that doesn't make those comments go away. We'll talk about that with the next video. I can click it and it will expand those comments. So make sure you've made those changes, you've added those comments, and I think we will do one more activity this week to wrap up some of these other things that are happening up in the review tab. Okay? Y'all have a good day, have a good week, and keep watching for my Zoom conferences. People haven't been showing up for the last 2. And I'd like to see your faces, hear your voices, and if you have any questions, that's a perfect time to ask them. Okay? All right. Thank you, and bye-bye.